Sunday night is here again. Scorecard is here again on Citi TV. It's been an absolutely wonderful weekend of sporting action. Right here at 97.3, we had the City Business Olympics. That was wonderful. Big ups to Ghana Commercial Bank, the overall winners. They are back again, Charlie. We took a break. We came back, same old GCB. On the local front, though, it was a super clash. Hearts of Oak all the way in Kumasi to play Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And Asante Kotoko could have beaten Hearts of Oak by 5-1 today, 4-1. I mean, I don't know how the game ended 1-1. Only they can tell us, but we'll break it down for you here in the studio. Kumasi King Faisal, they are in a lot of trouble as a team as well. We'll talk about the Black Stars. Don't think we've forgotten. No, we've not forgotten. It happened on Friday, but we'll digest that game. There's a game coming up on Tuesday, so there's a lot to look forward to as far as the Black Stars are concerned. And then we'll talk about Ghana's openers. Uruguay have been involved in a friendly. Portugal have been involved in the Nations League as well. So a lot's going on basically as far as everything is concerned. We'll digest all of it here on tonight. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guests and then we'll start talking. Welcome back to Scorecard on Citi TV. As usual, my good friend, the coach, Christopher Nimley, is here. Today he's looking like, a regent from the north. Charlie, very... My brother, you're looking very, bombastic, like you yourself like to say. What's going on?
Yeah, man. As usual, it's a Sunday, so when
today was a church day.
Yeah, it's a church day, and this was my attire for church. Today, nice. I had a wonderful communion service at the New Wine Temple, ICGC in East Legon. My spiritual father, Reverend Ismail Hansmanson Awudu, was at it again, and the word of God was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, Charlie.
Yes, and we are going to the month of October, the next level of prosperity. So I'm in the mood.
The month of October, the next level
of prosperity.
Oh, Charlie.
I'm in the mood.
You're in the
mood to become even more prosperous.
Charlie, I like that. Daniel, what's going on, Charlie? No Premier League on the weekend, but House of Kotoko held it down. Nations League. What they go on?
Lessons to be learned from the Black Stars game.
I didn't even ask you about that. I've seen that you have come in a jersey.
Oh yeah, Ghana Premier League action going on. The Friday-Saturday games went under the radar because of the Black Stars. But today, the Super 2 took center stage. 1-1. We'll get into it. People have their reservations. Everybody has their reservations. But for Hearts and Kotoko, clearly 1 point was not enough. It was not enough for both teams. And they need to get their season back on track. In the
my eyes were tired watching that game. Yeah. Let's get right into it and let's talk about that game between Accra House of Oak and Kotoko. We'll bring you the highlights of that game in a bit. But coach, just quick thought. So Yusuf Mubarak scoring the first goal of that game, and then they allowed Caleb Amankwa to equalize. I would say House were poor on the day, but that sequence to bring about that goal was absolutely lovely. The dead ball, the connection itself, the goalkeeper, the lad saw nothing in that game, but takeaways. I didn't enjoy the game at all, but I don't know how you felt about it.
Likewise, I didn't either. Look, to be honest with you, it was a poor game. That's the way I saw it. And Hassan Kotoko, in my view, are not doing this country any good. Their inability of being able to hold on to their best players, their inability of not being able to hold on to their best players, Benjamin, is killing our game. It's killing our game. Look, it's killing our game. And it is so sad that the pedigree of Hassan Kotoko, these two teams, they go beyond the shores of Ghana.
They do.
So if there is any ambition we have as a country to get our football back on track, I believe sincerely that these two teams should be the pace setters leading to the proper recovery. But every now and then, they are letting us down. And like I said, they not being able to hold on to their best players keeps worsening our situation. And I blame the other teams in the league. It's like they're all surrounded that when it comes to Africa, it has to be Haas and Kotoko. Because of that, the other teams are not setting proper, realistic targets to make our league competitive.
Most of them feel like even when they qualify, they don't have the funds to
go
make
to
it
Africa.
happen.
So Hassan Kotoko, very swollen-headed. The management, the boards of these two teams, they are virtually taking all of us for a ride. You look at the quality of football today. I say, look, I will entreat you, myself, Daniel, everybody. We should eschew the word a classical from that game. There was nothing classic about it.
I watched Kotoko and I told myself that this is why you are out of Africa, because the finishing was so poor on the day.
And at the end of the day, when it's, I don't know, but when it's common English language is something, it's classic.
Yeah.
By definition, look, a unique thing that we hardly experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anytime it beckons, we are all eager to have it arrive in time so that we go and have a feel of it and enjoy every moment of it. But of course, if this is the way they are going to play, we should begin to look at this game like any other game of football. The two teams, look, something saddened my heart. Apart from the goalkeeper.
Who's this? Which goalkeeper?
Of Kotoko.
Okay.
Was there any player who was an integral member of their team last season that won the league?
Mubarak was there, I think. Yusuf Mubarak was in there.
Maybe that's it.
Stephen Amankona was in there.
He hardly gets. He hardly played.
Okay, you mean it's integral.
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 And that is how serious it is.
Yeah.
If you are a Nanaya Amponsa, you should be asking yourself whether this is the day, this is the way you run your own football team.
Don't forget, they are spending quite a good amount of money on Stevie Mukwala, and so far, he has been poor. I watched him today. In fact, I watched him the first leg of the RC Kadiogo game. He should have scored at least twice in that game. I watched him today as well. I wonder why he I think he lasted 90 minutes.
It's because there's nobody. Imagine, you see, technically he's not a bad player.
Yeah.
But he's been brought into the team where everything is. Imagine if Kotoko had Fabio Gama, in Fela, in Bailey, in Beg and Belly. Those two guys. Those two guys there.
In Bella and in Fegi.
Yes, the left-footed midfielder who is playing.
Fegi is actually still there. He came on in this game late.
Mudasiru is there. There's Lamte. There's Imoro. There's the captain of the team.
Yeah.
Everything is there, and you bring this guy. He will just learn and get into the chemistry.
Yep. He's basically having to sort himself out with a host of new players as well.
Look, it is so bad. But typical of Ghana.
Yeah.
We will just look at it and we'll sweep it under the carpet. This football.
Yeah.
Another thing that we should be talking about is the fact that where are the people who owns the league? Where are they?
The GFA.
Where are they?
They're in Spain.
Can you imagine? All of them are in Spain. Oh. I was in church today. After church, I had 3 people walk to me and say, Coach, what is happening on the local scene today? I said, hey, don't you know Haas is playing Kotoko today? They all said no, they didn't know. I said, wow. After setting aside $1.3 million, you cannot market
your biggest game.
Yep. They should refund the money. Quick.
Let's wait for them. The season hasn't ended. It's only March 3.
No, but if this game,
yeah,
this game will come twice. Oh,
yeah,
first and second leg.
Yep. And it has already come at the ground where we're expected to have the most attendance.
That's it.
Yeah.
So if you cannot market it now, that 1.3 million, what is it doing? Because this is the game that is easily.
This is the game that sells the league.
Oh, Charlie.
Literally. Let's go for the highlights of that game. I'll come to Daniel for his thoughts. So this game ended 1-1. Like I said, Mubarak gets in the goal for Asante Kotoko, and then also Caleb Amankwa gets in the equalizer late for Hearts of Oak. Let's check it out.
Marco. Good ball to Isaac Mensah. Mensah is looking for Bin Junior. Here is Junior into the side net.
So we're looking to beat Danlad on his near side. Ball's just into the side net and the third sight of goal.
Good footwork from Kaba. He finds Glass and Awako. Awako onto the path of Obin Junior. Obin Junior with a cross cleared by Mubarak. Junior Kaba for Hearts of Oak wants to switch to Kosa on the left. He's got Isaac Opon to contend with. He goes past Opon. Good play from Kosa. Swings in across. No. Zeze finds Mukwala. Flag stays down. Here is Mukwala. Now Isaac Opon.
This can't take anything away from his movement. Look at him, just runs across the face of Kennedy Yadom, and he doesn't get the communication across early in time for Caleb Amankwa, so he picks the ball. It happened in the last couple of seconds there. That is where I go. So Opon's effort is brilliantly defended there by Yakubu Zakari. That was really good defense.
Raj. Now back to Yakubu Zakari. Swings in across. No problems for Danladi. Now headed away by Amankwa and Selom Yao Bless. Whistles to bring the first half to an end here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Welcome back for second half of this super clash between Asante Kotoko and the Accra Hearts of Okinde.
Defenders away, something for him to play into. Hearts of Oak need to take better care of the ball when they are on it, find it passing.
This is Knudi Yadom. Is a mistake from Knudi. He gives the ball away to Mukwala. He's up against Amankwa. Here's Mukwala. Mukwala!
You wonder if a two-guy in that position makes it count.
Good run from Siraj. He goes for goal. Danlad with that save, but there was flag is up. There's a foul on Mukwala. Kosa is already on a yellow card. He needs to be extremely careful. Ejapon goes to Bwedu, and Mukwala flicks it on. Mubarak Yusuf and Asante Kotoko have the open goal. Mubarak Yusuf breaks the deadlock for the Porcupine Warriors.
Confuses, maybe just confuses a little bit, so he just scoops the ball back into danger. And the big man is there, the defender is there. It says the big defender Mubarak.
Against Japan's free kick, headed away by Fatah Mohammed. Bwedu returns it, and Mukwala hits the woodwork by the Eso. Good turn from Gideon Asante. Racing dip, good skill, good movement. And
that's for sure.
Clearly. Here is Siraj. There's a foul on him, yes. He is captain. Bwedu screaming at him.
Yeah, it's a foul, but yeah, it's a foul. Just trips Siraj. Again, he didn't need to, because when you look at, it's important when you look at the body position of the player, you just know that he's not facing your goal. So just guide it. Send him to where you want him to be. You don't bring him down.
Good delivery from Siraj, and that's the equalizer. Caleb Amankwa equalizes for the Phobians. The last time he visited this venue, he scored an equalizer against Bechem United and against House of Oak's bitter rivals. Caleb Amankwa equalizes with 3 minutes to go.
So even on the day when Accra Hearts of Oak were poor, they managed to find something in the tank to get 1 point. But the big part is Hearts of Oak are still winless in 3 games played. Kotoko were playing just their first game of the season. Daniel, I watched the game among a group of Hearts and Kotoko fans, and a lot of the Hearts of Oak fans kept saying that, look, this team needs some type of overhaul. Like they don't know where it's going to come from, but something drastic needs to change. I don't know if you felt that same way watching the game.
To be frank, there are a number of new players who have come into the team. And Coach alluded to it earlier. The way Hearts and Kotoko do their recruitment, it looks like you see a new team almost every season. And things like that, it doesn't breed stability. It's not the best for any team out there. And what it means is that even though you've done well in the previous season, when you are entering a new season, you still need that grace period to be able to settle things out, balance things out before you kick your or get your season started. And I think that is what is happening to both teams. Kotoko themselves under a new coach with new players coming in are still trying to identify themselves, trying to settle down into the season, similar to what is happening to Hearts of Oak. The only difference is Hearts have the same head coach in charge. But yes, the quality of the game wasn't the best, and it was quite disappointing from a Hearts of Oak point of view, because I feel like they've already played 2 games prior to this one, 2 tough games prior to this one. I expected them to. I expected the body language and the game plan to be a bit more positive. On the pitch, in the selection of the players, you could tell there was a thinking behind it, but we were not seeing that. And even when Hearts had possession of the ball, and we saw from the highlights, it looked like they had a brighter openings, but I'll still call it noisy possession. They didn't really test the goalkeeper and make anything out of it. Kotoko had some golden opportunities, and yes, the finishing shots were also found lacking. Mukwala, I feel like, look, I'm not going to judge him by his finishing, I'm judging him by his movement. And I feel like when you have a striker who's playing a game like this, and he has, 2-3 good opportunities to get a goal, I think it's a positive. You can build on that.
You are giving Kotoko fans some hope, because I've seen comments. A lot of them are really upset with him.
They're not happy, of course, because you are judging the player by his finishing. But I'm taking a lot of things into consideration. He's come from outside. How many games
has
he
adjust
to
to the league?
Yes, this is his first Ghana Premier League game, and it's the biggest game ever. So it's not just physically what he can do. The mental aspect is also there. But I think if it was a second half, the chance where he was one-on-one, he took the step over, went past and hit it into the side net. Movements like this can give you some spots of positivity. It's just the finishing that is lacking. And Kotoko bought him knowing that he knows how to score goals. So once he's finding the right positions, it's just a matter of time before he start putting the ball in the back of the net. So I'll say for a player like him, let's be patient. But for Hearts of Oak, it's very disturbing. They need to start improving. Clearly, some of the decisions from the referee weren't the best. But
Kotoko said they should have gotten at least 2 penalties. One of those penalties, I think, at least was legit.
Yes, at least one of those were legit. And you see, we always have shouts like this when Kotoko and Hasbe. I remember last season at this very ground, it was that Fabio Gama incident that was split between two. The Hearts of Oak side didn't think it was a penalty. Kotoko fans were adamant it was a penalty. So we'll get things like that. And look, where we've reached in football, other leagues outside this country have the VAR to help the referees. We don't have that. So I feel it will be a bit harsh to scream and shout and dismiss a referee for some decisions like this, because I think it was a second penalty call that for me looked somewhat legit, and it's those kind of calls that some referees will give it, some will not. And by virtue of that, once it's 50-50, if he has a second look, chances are that he may give the penalty kick. So, yes, it is what it is. But look, I'm more disappointed in Hearts of Oak. Kotoko has a new coach. Coming on the back of what happened last week, I feel how they attacked this game was much better than Hearts. But if they had kept their concentration for the last 3 minutes, it could easily have been 3 points for them.
Just quick thoughts, Coach. We have a few minutes to go for our first break. Hearts have scored, 1 goal this season? If I'm mistaken.
No, I think
they played against Adriana Stars.
Yeah, just one.
Was 1-0. They lost that game.
2 goals. So they scored. It was 1-1
drew
against
1-1
Olympics.
against
So 1-1 against Olympics. So they've scored twice just this season. And they look to me like they have genuine chance creation problems. They are not creating enough opportunities. This game, the goal came from a dead ball situation.
That is where you need to worry, actually, if you are the head coach or you are a fan of Accra Hearts of Oak, because they'll be playing in Africa very soon, isn't it? That game is somewhere.
It's just on the horizon.
Exactly. So if you don't score goals, you don't win football games. So that is a genuine cause for concern. Genuine cause for concern. That needs proper and immediate addressing. And the earlier the technical team led by Coach Samuel Boydo himself begin to take the boys through a bit of finishing at the grounds to improve their confidence in front of. And Obin Jr., he needs to be spoken to. You don't just stand anywhere and shoot at goal.
Fans I was sitting with were literally upset with him.
You can do that. You cannot be, because maybe you've got power in your legs. Anywhere you stand, beam. What is that? You don't do that. You need to focus and make sure you are within range and trust your ability that. And the annoying part of it, that most of his shots are off target. You don't do that if you're a striker. If the team, he's had enough opportunity now. He's been in this team for more than 4 or 5 years now. But now he should have cemented his status in the team as one of the deadly finishers in the team. But we are not seeing anything of the sort. But again, on the part of Kotoko, who bought the player you are referring to?
Stephen Mukwala.
Who bought him?
He's Nanaya's player. They actually got him for free.
Kotoko bought him.
Kotoko bought him.
Who brought him? The coach?
Nanaya brought him.
That is what you get. If you have a CEO who is always buying players as if he is the coach, this is what you get.
But the CEO brought last season second top scorer. He bought Mbella. He bought Infuege.
When Ibella was brought, when what is the name? Infege Is it Vega or Imbella?
Vega is still there. Imbella is what you're talking about.
When Imbella was recommended, and Prosper looked at Imbella, he said, "Bring."
But truth be told, if you're looking at records, Mukwala's been in double figures for the Uganda League in the last 3 seasons. So he was not a nobody.
No, before you know, he won't fit into the system. You can be zero. If you cannot fit into my system, you will not flourish.
Fair
the
enough.
point I'm making is that Nana Yampunsa should desist from buying players for Kumasa.
You and I know that in the system we operate in, that's not going to happen.
And I think
they will
it's
suffer
because they are equally good examples.
They will suffer.
Look, he brought Fabio Gama.
What we are saying is
he's had misses, he's had hits.
Yeah, he's had hits. So no team in this world has 100% success when it comes to
if we want our game to develop, we should not encourage that. It must be condemned beyond every measure. Condemn it. He should be concerned about. He should go and change the container into a multi-million edifice. That is his role. Should be concerned about changing the container, the one that they use as
container
office.
are you talking
about? We know you are tomorrow running one.
Let's take a first break here on the show. We'll come back. We'll look at Accra Great Olympics, and then we'll check out a few more Ghana Premier League games before we move on to some other national team assignments. Let's stay with us here on Scorecard. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. We've just finished talking through that Hearts of Oak versus Asante Kotoko game. Let's move on to another game that happened. This time it was between Accra Great Olympics and King Faisal. Faisal have now lost 3 games on the bounce, so back-to-back defeats. And then we'll also check out Accra Lions versus Tamale Cities, and then we'll come back in studio to break those games down. So check these games out.
Through, quickly effected. They're moving forward. The connection is on! Yes! In the right place, at the right time. Quick thinking by Accra Great Olympics will not even allow King Faisal to settle. They'll receive the applause from the fans. And it's goal number 1.
Yeah. And there, goalkeeper Idrisu. Having no antidote to stop Mensah here. Lovely link-up play between Razak and Mensah. Mensah knew nothing about the ball, just applied a touch to it, and because he was in a very good position, it's just strolling.
And take the advantage. Accra Great Olympics. Gripman. Bashiru. Solid cross to the far side. Passes on for Kese. Oh!
Faisal. Bashiru with a lovely cross. It fell for the chap who just came on, Ofei Gordon. And Gordon will just lay it on the carpet for Razak. Razak.
And noses in front. They get in the corner kick. It's headed away by the poor connection. Obviously, could not do the damage. Keeping the tabs on their opponents now as they come. Hagan Frimpong. He manages to get the cross in, but it's headed out nicely by Nyabila. Shot on target! Oh, my word! That was the Sputnik. And like they say, it's always good to lead by example.
It's just an amazing finish. The Lions are up here from the corner kick. Not well dealt with. They were still bubbling in there. But Lions always in control. They laid up here. And just look at Hagan. Once he gets onto the ball, he's twisting and turning. Delivers in a cross. Not well defended. There he fell for a Sobila. And what an amazing hit. Super hit.
Sobila lays on a pass. They're going through the middle now. Lovely pass. It's intercepted nicely by Baba Pig.
When you give them spaces, you give them time to pick passes.
Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. So Olympics doing the business, winning again. Like you've always said, they have a team capable of winning the league. But King Faisal, though, I'm worried about King Faisal. 3 defeats on the bounce to start the season.
It's looking like this time around, they will not survive the Premiership. I think they'll go down.
King Faisal.
Yeah, and
they come. We
yeah.
expand the league for them.
It's been long coming.
Man.
Since they came back. You remember they nearly got relegated the first time?
Yep.
Last season,
They had a great first half.
First half,
and then it was a free fall.
And then they've started so badly again. So it is looking more like the die is cast they will get relegated. Because
it's only match day 3. If you ask Alaji, he'll tell you that the league has just started and that he'll find his feet.
Of course. But he has to believe. But from what I'm seeing, he has to continue to believe. He cannot throw in the towel because something drastically has to change. Magically has to change. Miraculously, something has to change. Because if this is the way, then I'm afraid they'll get relegated. No two ways about that. For Accra Great Olympics, it is what it is. I've been trying to reach my good friend Yao Prekon, my senior. I will try and get to him because I really need to have this conversation with him. I need to know from him what the target of Great Olympics is. I just spoke earlier on about how disappointing Hassan Kotoko has been in Africa. Yeah. The time has come. The time is now that Ghana as a country, the other teams, we have to look beyond Hassan Kotoko because, look, the disappointment, the embarrassment coming from these two teams is, look, enough is enough. But how can we do that? We can only do that when we challenge the other teams, the Great Olympics, the Mediamens, the Adrianes. These are teams capable. Look, for a team like Great Olympics, if they set reasonable target for themselves and say they want to go into Africa, they've got big men in this country. Magdan alone can sponsor Olympics Africa.
Yeah.
Uncle Nick and co, big men with good cash.
You mean good cash?
No more. Good cash. So we need to know what the target is. Because now the football looks good on the eye. Tactically, they have a manager who the players believe in. Yeah. Anawaka laid the foundation. Has gone in there. He's not done anything to unsettle the ship. Yeah. He's just triggered whatever Anawaka was working with. He's added a bit more catalyst to it and get them to what? Play beautiful game. But the beauty of it, there's proper end product to whatever they are doing. It's 7 out of 9.
Yeah.
Every coach in this country would have dreamt of such a start to a league season.
Sure.
So you've gotten it. Like I said last week, that saying of whoa, this time will not take that from a low boy, will not take that from your Preko, will not take that from the management of Accra Great Olympics. Olympics is playing to win.
You mean the fans deserve better?
Look, when you go to Olympics, have you gone to their games before? Nathan Kwaf should have been here to demonstrate. You have about 3 or 4 Olympic supporters. Their voice is so loud that they can overpower over 1,000 people.
I'm telling you.
When they are beating
I know they win their element.
Oh, no, we sit there and look, there's 3 of them. Olio, just that alone. Throughout the 90 minutes, you can't overpower them. The time has come for them to begin to be given some form of tangible.
And like I said, they're top of the table as things stand now.
Joint top.
They're top of the table,
Joint top with
alongside Adriana Stars.
So, look, they
have considered just one goal. So
they've played Hasselhoff already. And look, from the way they are playing, they will tell, Yaprek will tell, bring it on. We'll discipline you. Bring it on. So the target should be the target. And I'm saying that maybe God willing, next week, I will come out with what Yaprek would have told me on what the target of Olympics is. It's a personal desire. And I need to know. And I will call him on this matter. Because the team they've got, they've kept their players. The team looks intact, looks solid. The chemistry is there. Yeah. And once they've kept the team for some decent period, proper additions in and out.
You need to make a jump up.
Exactly.
Daniel, quick thoughts on Faisal. Struggling. We thought that they would do something with the Kwame Prepara money, like augment the team. We are not seeing anything. They look like they will go.
Yeah, they look like they will go. And there's no surprises there. They've flirted with relegation over the past 2 seasons. And they are just one of those teams that enter the Ghana Premier League season and their target is to stay up. You don't really expect them to be in the top half battling for the title. This is usually where they are. But at the same time, look, it's just 3 games into the season. You have teams equally struggling. Tamale City, on the other hand, are also struggling. Hamza Mohammed and his guys. I'm not disappointed. I'm just sad that they've not been able to kick things off. They played some good football in the Division 1 last season. During that playoff competition, they were by far the best team. That is why they ended up qualifying for the Ghana Premier League. And the way he talked the big talk and the way you expected them to come on and at least show something, at least in the first 3 games. I think they've lost all 3 games as it stands. And they are yet to score
6 goals.
Yeah, they are yet to score. So it's quite disappointing. But it's just 3 games into the season. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Well,
the same thing we saw last season where they were brilliant in the first half. They were in the top half.
And then they just fell off.
So anything can happen.
Let me read a few messages coming through. This one here says, "Oh, Charlie, Ghana football sport." It's from Saleh Al Hassan from Brekum. This one here from Patrick Dansoman says that, "Hi guys, trust you are doing well. I honestly think that Hart's equalizer was an offside." This one is from William from Afienya. Says, "I look at how fit and prepared European teams are for the World Cup, and I look at the Black Stars and I get sad. The technical team in Otoado must sit up. We must not, or else we will not win a single game if we don't figure things out pronto." Okay. Ni Tojo from Tema Newtown says, "There's nothing good about the GPL, especially marketing and promotion." This one here says, "Good evening, guys." Okay, he says he says he's coming from a Simon. Says he wants us to touch on the quality of the commentary of the local league.
No. This is something we've always spoken about off camera or offset. We shouldn't comment. Let's go. We shouldn't comment.
Karut from Tamale. Okay, says, "Ask coach, to what extent can a manager influence the outcome of a game? The Kotoko fans say referee Selon Bless came with results in his pocket. My question is, why didn't they take it from him, knowing very well he brought his own results?" Edem from Kaswa with that one. Joshua from Nungwa Bank Road says that lazy players, Eso, shaking my head. See the training pitch. We trained the whole week just to play this. Sometimes I look back at this shambolic performance and think we don't deserve Toby. God should remove that thought from my mind. I missed the 2020-2021 team, Nete and the rest. We should have kept them for 5 seasons. Great quality in this team, but Boadu hasn't stamped his authority yet. We need to keep a consistent lineup ahead of our Africa campaign. He says cohesion is key. More messages coming through. This one here is from Jacobs Botte from Spencer. Says, "Has and Kotoko are a scam. I don't know why Coach Boadu is in the position, is in the Hearts job still." Okay. This one here is from Neo Doi from Agona and Kwanta. Says that, "Good evening, Scorecard crew. I don't think Hearts and Kotoko know their worth. Mediocrity is all they engage in." So a lot of fans obviously not happy with what they've seen so far. Let's switch directions. Let's go to the national team. Ghana's Black Stars were in action on Friday. Whew. It was a friendly game. I'm not sure why everybody else was up in arms, but it also showed a lot about our team. We played against Brazil in Le Havre in France. It was 3-0 advantage Brazil at the end of 90 minutes. Welcome back. Let me get right into it. Coach, 3-0. And honestly, when the game ended, I did the sign of the cross. Because this game could have ended 6 or 7-0.
Yeah.
Easily could have been 6 or 7.
Look, allow me to talk. I beg you.
Me, I won't interrupt you. You know
Let
me,
me
I won't
talk.
interrupt you.
Look.
I won't interrupt. Don't worry. Have your say.
We have serious problem. One thing that I want every Ghanaian to accept is that comparatively, this is the weakest team we are taking to the World Cup. If we were to compare to our 3 previous outings at the World Cup, this team is the weakest. This team, compared to 2006, 2010, even 2014, this team is the weakest of all the teams. So the least we should do or we can do, when I say we, I'm referring to Otto Addo, George Boateng, Masawu Didi Dramani, and of course, their technical advisor, Chris Hughton. The least they can do to salvage some form of image for this country at the Mundial, they will have to be honest and field players who are on form. I repeat, it is the weakest team we are presenting at the world stage as compared to the previous 3. So the least we can do is to be honest and use players who are on form in the World Cup. There are supposedly 3 games to be played. One was played on Saturday. As for the last one, I can state emphatically on this program, from the Jerry Akamenku unfortunate experience, speaking to some of the players, even in the Black Stars camp now, that last game against Switzerland, I will not put my foot in any tackle. With the
you mean at that time players are paranoid?
I know I'm going to the World Cup. I should go and replicate Akamenku. I will never do it. So, the game against Brazil and the one on Tuesday, in my view, was the proper pre-season game leading to the World Cup.
I even think that the game against Brazil was our only real test, because
that's it.
Nicaragua won't test you on any level.
That's it. So therefore, Otto Addo must be told that we will not accept I am sorry. He must be told in clear, bold language that we will not accept that. Oh, I'm sorry with my selection. Get mad.
How many competitive games has he won? 1?
1 out of 7. He must be told that we will not accept that. Even against Brazil, we haven't accepted his apology. So there should be no future apologies from him.
You mean you don't like the apologies again?
He won. We should lose. Then you come and say you are sorry. Come on, quick. He should live there. If it's about telling us we are sorry, quick, he should live there. Look, the good Lord took this country out of the limelight in 2018. That's what I believe, for a reason. Because the way we embarrass ourselves in 2014.
You mean we had a chance to read?
God has now reinstated us. And anytime the red, gold, green, apart from Brazil, has been at the Mondial, look, we've gone there and we've been recognized. For the very good reasons. Competitively, football-wise, we were up to the standard. So if you've been given the chance, and you are taking the weakest team, the least you can do is to go there with players who are on form. Now, when I say players who are on form, I repeat, I will say it here again and again. I've always maintained that from goalkeeping, Jojo Wolcott cannot and should not be our number 1 choice.
It's been a heated.
I've said it.
It's been a heated debate, especially after this Brazil
I will not
game.
change my stand on that. You know me. I have said that. For fundamentally, he is a good goalkeeper. But because of the situation experience, his on a weekly basis is below the standard required. You cannot put him in. It's like you are taking a class 1 student to go and compete with the class 6 guys. He may be good, but the situation analysis are different. The South African League, the Confed Cup, is 20 times better than the 3rd tier of English football.
Are you sure about that?
I'm telling you honestly. English 3rd tier, 2nd division.
20 times.
20 times better. How can you bring a 4th cum 3rd division goalkeeper to be our number 1? We should stop that. Olele was 40% responsible for how well the Black Stars performed in 2006 and 2010.
Why are you coming up with your figures?
It is my own analysis.
20
I'm
times,
saying
40%.
Olele. Go and watch Ghana against Italy, Ghana against Czech Republic, Ghana against USA, even Ghana against Brazil. Go to 2010, Ghana, Australia, Ghana, who else? Germany.
Serbia.
Yakwa Lele, Ghana, USA.
You mean Lele?
Yakwa Lele performance. Go and watch for yourself and come up with your own percentage. I have watched and I've come up with my own 40%. Finish. Nobody can tell me anything again. I'm telling you honestly today. That aside.
Yeah.
If you have naturalized players and they've come into the team and they are better than those you have, automatically they walk straight into the team. Especially if you recognize the fact that you are playing against the number 1 ranked team in the world. You don't bench Salisu. You don't bench Inaki Williams for Afena Jan, who is still undergoing development, who as a country we need to protect, who as a country we need to guide and take out of the limelight and introduce him sparingly and bring the best out of the young man. You don't put him there. especially when he's playing 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes for, what's the name of this thing? Cremonese. And you're trouble, you're German. A passage. Inaki Williams, number 1 striker, we all saw glimpses of what he can do. Now in midfield, the day Otto Addo played the day are you in midfield against Madagascar. I did the
no.
Who was it?
It was
Central African Republic.
No, it was Ghana, Zimbabwe, and it was Milo.
And it was Milo. Okay, the day Milo played him, but Otto Addo said he's watched all the clips. So if he's watched all the clips, what did he see in that? For him to have said, Masao Didi Dramani, George Boateng, Chris Hughton, Otto Addo. What did they see in the day are you to get him to partner? Baba Idrisu went to Manspate, got hurt.
He's played there in the past, hasn't he?
Against which team?
Well, I know he's featured there in the
when
past.
The day was, look, when the day was mine, the day, Andre, no more, when the day, the day are you number 1 supporter, when was the day? He never even dreamt to play in midfield. That role is meant for specialists. Though. If you are not a specialist in that position, you go nowhere closer to it. So that was a huge blunder. That should never be repeated again. Especially when we have players like Elisha Owusu and Co, who can pass the ball through the channels.
And
for
again,
Kudus.
not to even cut you, but this has become even more critical now with the type of situation we find
Thomas Partey
in, because
so we are
not sure what we are going to get from him.
The earlier we start believing in those guys whose role is in the midfield, the better. Please move away from the Didiayo midfield role. And then again, look, he's my captain. I have loved him and I still love him. But you call a spade a spade. No more. We have gotten to the stage where Andre should be used sparingly in the Black Stars, unless you don't want to be honest. Unless you don't love Madagana. The Diayo has been around for close to, we are entering to his 16th year with the Black Stars, if my calculation is right. From 2007 to now, 15 years they were trapped. We are entering to his 16th year. He should not be treated as a 24, 25-year-old. No, don't do that. That would be the biggest mistake of our life. But rather, as a country, if the technical team can use him smartly, we will get the best out of him. And the best way to bring the best out of him is to get him to start the game from the bench. With his experience, look at the loopholes in the opponent, identify those problems, and come on, go punish them. And you see him doing this. He puts the ball in the back of the net and he'll be doing like it. And we'll all join in the celebration together with the young man. So it must be clear.
That's a bold decision that has to be made. That's not a small decision.
I'm telling you, we could do that to Stephen Appiah. If we could do that to Appiah, we can do that to the DIU. My last point, because of time, I have a lot to say.
We'll preview the Nicaragua game, so you have a lot more to say.
Because of time, again, please, it has to be a back three. And if it's going to be a back three, and we are going wing backs, and we opt for defenders as wing back, it has to be Tariq Lamptey on the right. That Odwe wing back thing should stop.
Oh boy, he had a game of his life on Friday.
That thing should stop. Because if it has to be a wing back, Tariq Lamptey has shown in the toughest league in the world that he has perfected that role at Brighton.
Because at wing back, if Odoi plays, it means that the first game against Portugal, he's likely up against Rafael Leao.
Rafael Leao?
Yeah.
And then if Cancelo decides to come forward, it's up against Cancelo and Co. But put Tariq Lamptey there. He's perfected the role. Let him play with them. And then on the left, I think we have to take a decision. If it's, look, I would have preferred Gideon Mensah. Look,
but you see some of these things, you should have come to terms with them by this time. That if Baba Rahman is fit, Baba Rahman plays.
You see, we cannot run our national team like that.
What if in Otto Addo's eyes, Baba Rahman is a better left back than Gideon?
Bona. What are you saying?
See, I'm not Otto Addo. I'm not the one. I'm not the one who gets paid to make that decision. Okay. He gets paid.
So
the big
he will
money.
come and say he's sorry, and I've told him that we will not accept that. I'm sorry. We will not accept that. I'm sorry for him. Not again. Not ever. Not never.
You mean he's apologized too many times already? This is the second time. Actually.
He shouldn't do that.
He apologized after the 4-1 defeat to Japan.
Look, and I'm telling you that as part of the fact that this is the weakest thing we are taking to the tournament, we've taken a head coach who has no competitional experience. It contributes to how weak our team is. And this World Cup, take it or leave it, it's come too early for our team because our team is undergoing transition. So the little you can do to help this team, you can't tell me Bukari with all this form should sit on the bench for 90 minutes and Jordan Ayew run around, no end product, nothing, plays for 90 minutes.
He holds up the ball well.
To what benefit? To whose benefit? When we are moving, we are doing the 1-2, pa. He's holding up, turning the ball. To who? Look, we need this team to go out there and perform.
We
are begging them. On Tuesday, I'll hold my thought.
I'll come back
when
to you. I'll come back to
you.
We'll discuss this game, the Black Stars, a lot more. Let me take Daniel's thought. So, Otto Addo was asked about if he gambled with his starting 11. He says no, that a lot of consideration went into picking that starting 11. Do you agree with that? I mean, juxtaposed against the fact that we don't have a lot of friendlies to play and the fact that you need to probably parade your best 11 because Portugal is just around the corner.
Allow me to talk.
I like that.
Look, first of all, it's a friendly match. So I'm happy that these mistakes were made in a friendly match against currently the best footballing nation in the world. When you make mistakes like this and they are punished, you react. You are supposed to react and correct them. And I'm happy that in the second half, he didn't even allow 3 minutes to pass. At halftime, he realized he had made a big mistake with not just the selection, but I think the bigger mistake was the shape that he decided to go into the game with. Now, when I watched the Brazil game, it reminded me of what happened against Nigeria in the second leg.
Yeah.
And you see, a result of a football match can eclipse how you decide to analyze the game.
Okay.
If you watch the Nigeria game, and I was there in Abuja, we were terrible in that first half. The reason why we probably didn't suffer the way we suffered against Brazil was because Nigeria didn't possess the quality that the Brazilian team has. That matchup, one-on-one matchup between Ademola Lookman and Dennis Odoi. Odoi he couldn't handle it. In fact, he caused the penalty. It was incessant. They kept on coming at our fullbacks. Even Gideon Mensah up against Emmanuel Dennis, if you watch that game, he was suffering. They were really suffering in that game. And that is when
Vinicius played it out again on
exactly.
Friday.
So my point is, you played a 4-2-3-1 against Nigeria. You show that the space, it literally exposes your fullbacks against specialist wingers. And the more quality the opposition has, the more likely that they are going to punish you even more. And he repeated the same thing against Brazil. So I think by now he has realized that you can't do that at the highest level. And you see, I'm not going to go at the fullbacks, especially Dennis Odoi, because let me ask you a question. Mention one fullback in the last year that Vinicius Jr. hasn't had the better of. Mention one.
No, but Daniel, you see, there's a difference between
I'm making a point.
Having a better off and getting ripped apart in the game.
I'm making a point. I'm saying mention one. There's nobody. Kyle Walker. Only Kyle Walker. And the moment they took Kyle Walker off, that is when Vinicius Jr. scored. So if you've looked at all the teams Real Madrid had played in the last year, and Vinicius Jr. has torn teams over and over and over again, my point is, if your system isolates him one-on-one with the defender,
and it kept happening,
he will by all means get the better of him. So the fault is not from the defender for not being able to cope with Vinicius Jr. The fault is the system. That fullback system was exposing our fullbacks. especially Dennis Odoi. And of course, once you are exposed, you by all means be taken to the cleaners. And you see, if you watch Brazil's shape also, their fullbacks were not the ones providing the overlapping runs. There are 2 number 10s in Paqueta, who was doubling up with Vinicius Jr. With Rafinha. And then Neymar was drifting also to the left to double up with Vinicius Jr. Goodness me, if you have Neymar and Vinicius Jr. up against you, Dennis Odoi, what do you expect? So the coaches got it wrong in the first half. But in the second half, when the system was changed to the back 3, we saw exactly what happened against Nigeria. Resurface. People are saying Brazil took their foot off the pedal. No, they didn't. There was a press. There was a press.
They did.
But you see, it's a friendly game.
I'm making
they are up 3-0.
Relax. When we saw Salisu in that second half, within his first 5 minutes, he was pressed at least like 4 or 5 times. But his ability to bypass the press is what brought Salisu into everybody's minds that yes, he's around. He puts a hand, shields the defender away, and then he passes through. There was a press, but then we were able to deal with it better. Positionally, we were more aware, so we were able to pass around it much better. It wasn't as intense as the first half, but it was present. And you see, you can't. Look, the system is very important. Because you can have a collection of the best players, but in the wrong system, it will expose them. So I'm saying that, look, this is a friendly game. You are supposed to make your mistakes in friendly matches. I don't think if you watch a friendly game and you say, based on this, when we go to the World Cup, we're not going to win any match because we can't beat Brazil. First of all, Brazil is the best footballing nation in the world. But if you look at the game in the 2 halves, you can tell that there was a reaction and we dealt with it. Secondly, Ben, there was Rafinha on this side.
Yeah.
There was Vinicius Jr. on this side. After the game, what I did was to go into the Brazilian papers, the online portals, and read the match reports from their side. At least 70 to 75% of those match reports were not happy with Rafinha's performance.
He should have scored. He should have scored at least twice.
Not the goals. They said he offered almost nothing in terms of creativity.
And that's true.
And who was he at against?
True.
No, I'm asking a question.
Don't go there.
I'm asking a question.
Also, watching Rafinha should have scored like 2-3 goals.
Look, you see that I'm not talking about goals. When he drifted into the middle, I'm saying they were not happy with his creativity, one-on-one. How many times was he able to?
Only one ball from him.
Quiet.
We all watched
the game. Talking, I was quiet. You made points I didn't agree with. You made points I didn't agree with.
I thought you said how many times he took. But took only one ball from him. We all saw it.
I'm looking at Ben. I'm not looking at.
Okay. Let's.
He took only one ball from him.
I'm saying.
Finish your point.
I'm saying, when you go into the Brazilian press and they talk about the match report, the stats are there. A very good friend, Yaampa, who posted the stats after the game. Rafinha had a poor day, one-on-one with Baba Rahman. And I looked at the defending styles of both our fullbacks. Dennis Odoi gave Vinicius Jr. a lot of room.
Yeah.
Because one, he knew
that he doesn't have the pace, so he was zonally backing him.
Yeah, exactly. If he gets stuck in and he goes past him, that is it. So he was trying to give him that space. But you can't do that also against Vinicius Jr. What Baba Rahman did was to stick very close to Rafinha. Rafinha, you see, Brazil thought that a switch of personnel would change it. Anthony came on, and it was the same thing. Anthony gets the ball, he turns, because as soon as he picks up the ball, Baba Rahman is there. I'm saying, what is he doing? Look,
I'll come back to you. Get a chance to respond.
I'm saying that sometimes, you see, sometimes, if we decide to, and I'm saying this because you see, some of the reviews are very unfair towards some players.
Oh, how?
And I'm saying that if we are going to go at every single player based on void of emotions and based on the raw performance they put on the field, look, some people will not even play for the Black Stars again, honestly, based on what we saw on Friday. But there are some players also who, even before they touch the ball, there's already a narrative that they are the worst ever. And I'm not going to sit here and do a comparison because I love them all, and all of them have their qualities. But I'm saying that if everybody decides to be petty and goes to the favorites and judges the favorites by the same standards that the guys who are perceived not to be liked are judged on, we will not reach any common ground. So let's not do that. I'm saying that, look, it's a friendly match. We've made mistakes, which are supposed to happen. I would rather that if we drew 1-1 against Brazil, playing a 3-back system, match them boot for boot, and Otuado felt like his team was ready.
Yeah.
Then he goes against Portugal, goes to play the 4-back and gets beaten 3-0. I'll be angry because that is the World Cup. I want you to do what you think will be good.
Yeah.
He does it backfires. He changes it, finds what will work, and then go with what will work at the World Cup. Because at the World Cup,
hold on,
you see, there are no excuses. Friendly games, you are supposed to make excuses there. Was it 2010 where we lost 4-1 to the Dutch just before the World Cup? We are not going to win anymore. But we ended up in the quarterfinal, 1 kick away from the semi-final.
Hold your thoughts
so
there.
Make mistakes in the friendly games. When you go to the World Cup, you are perfect.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what we must do differently going up against Nicaragua. That game is on Tuesday, so there's a lot to come in terms of change of personnel, change of styles, and all of that. So just stay with us here on Scorecard. Quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. We'll be playing that game against Nicaragua on Tuesday. Let me ask Daniel, let me just stay with you. What do you expect to change going into that Tuesday game in terms of preparation? Because after Tuesday, we have one more preparation game left, and that's it.
I expect to see more of the new faces. I expect to see starts, not just seeing them in the game, but I expect the likes of Tariq Lamptey, Iñaki Williams, Ransford Yeboah. These guys should start because it's a sort of that the opponent will give you that avenue to express your flair and your creativity in a game like that. So that's what I expect to see, and I'm sure I'll not be surprised if Otuado goes for that. I also want to see that back three system. It must happen. Let's see the system against a team that we are on paper better than, and let's see how we are able to dominate within that system. Because in both games that we've used that 3-back system, we used it to contain our opposition, not necessarily dominate them against Brazil and against Nigeria. But let's see how we're able to assert our authority and our dominance within that system. Partey is injured. I also want to see how the midfield will look like in the absence of Partey. It didn't work against Brazil at all. Even in the second half where Andre Ayew was pushed further up the pitch, it still didn't work. It was quite difficult to gain control of that midfield. Even on paper, look, you're not going to gain control of a Brazil midfield, but at least you should be able to battle them a bit, and we're not able to see that. So that is also an aspect that I'm looking at. And look, it's just basically a response. I remember, was it 2 years ago where we faced it was CK's first game in charge against Mali, where he was battered by 3-0. Then a few days later, we faced Qatar.
Against Qatar.
Yes, we won by 5-1. I want to see that body language. You don't want to be crestfallen after this Brazil game. And I'm happy because of the second half performance, because you could tell that even the players felt a bit.
They were letting themselves down.
Yes, in the first half, but at the end of the game, they felt a bit at ease. That maybe, had we done this in the first half, we wouldn't have been beaten like this. So it tells you that you are not as bad as the first half performances.
They were lucky, Brazil. If Rafinha had scored Rafinha missed 2 chances from point blank range, 4 yards out, 5 yards out.
We'll get to other teams we are going to face in the World Cup. And I'm saying that if they are also sitting in their country and they are seeing then we're all going to finish with 0 points in the group.
Fair enough, coach. But there's a school of thought that says that Nicaragua are ranked 144th on the FIFA rankings. Brazil was your best chance to test your possible starting 11, because let's say that you go and smash Nicaragua 5-0. It could be a good reaction to the Brazil defeat, but is it a true reflection of where your team is?
You see, if you don't play a high-profile game and then drop to a far less profile game, maybe it should have been the other way around.
Nicaragua
maybe we should have spoken to the organizers that, look, we want to play Nicaragua first
and then play Brazil
in second. That is what I thought we should have done. Maybe it wasn't possible, so I cannot read too much.
It's not a tournament, so
it's
you
not a tournament.
You negotiate different.
Yes, so you negotiate different. So, but properly, if we had the 2 games, maybe Brazil to have another game to play, maybe this. So that didn't make. But look, you spoke about what needs to change. Clearly, Jojo Walcott needs to change to reach out of Ori. I will not do what Dane just did, trying to beat about the bush.
I'm not beating about the bush.
You asked him a specific question.
I'm not beating about the bush.
Ask him a specific question. One, Jojo Wallacott.
Because I will not change Jojo Wallacott.
Yeah, okay, who else went to change? Will you keep Andre in midfield?
No, I'll not keep Andre.
You should have said all that. You didn't say it. So let me talk. Change Jojo Wallacott.
Yeah.
Bring in Richard Ofori.
Yeah.
Daniel Amati, Juku, and then Salisu.
Okay.
Back three. If, even against this opposition, I don't want to see Barbara Man and even Tariq Lamptey or Guido Mensah as wing-backs.
What do you want to see?
I want to see the natural wingers as wing-backs. I want to see Kamadin and Bukari as wing-backs.
As wing-backs, okay.
Because of the opposition. But if we're playing against a quality opposition, I would have gone for
Traditional defenders
as wing-backs. Then in midfield, I want to see Elisha Owusu and then Baba. Kudus in front of them.
But Baba has come under a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
too,
you see, he doesn't progress. He doesn't know how to progress the ball. That is my biggest issue.
But you see, that is it. Isn't that kind of midfielder a danger or a time bomb? Because I'll tell you what.
No,
if you play a Portugal, you play Korea, you play the teams we have in our group. It takes very intelligent midfielders 5 minutes to know that my opponent is not comfortable receiving the ball and can't get out of midfield.
He's more like Rabiu. You know Rabiu?
Yeah.
So what we did at the time was we had Sule very close to Rabiu.
Okay.
So Rabiu does the work. Sule, take, pop, pop, pop. Then we are gone. Just someone take from the left, back. We are going forward. So maybe we can do same. Okay? We can do same in the sense that get somebody who is a proper ball progressor.
Yeah.
Alongside Baba Idrisu. So that tactically he should not be seen shifting himself too much. He should be in, demarcate the area for him. Let him shield the back three better. Because it's a back three system. And his positioning is so very important.
Yeah.
In order to protect our back three. So he should be there. Elisha also should be there. And then the Yeboah boy.
Ransford.
He should be there. Then Inaki Williams and Kudus. Take Kudus
Up the
pitch.
Yeah.
Because I believe
I was
sincerely.
upset with how we were using him on
It's
Friday.
because of the Andre who is not a good midfielder. That's why Kudus had to drop deep and come and pick the ball and carry it. But you just look at Baba, Yeboah, and then what? Elisha also. I'll be shocked if Kudus even decide to drop into midfield, drop into our half. Maybe there are times where if you want to put every man behind the ball, then he has to drop. But once we get the ball and we are on the transition, clearly he should be getting closer to Inaki Williams.
Create or score.
Okay, because you can use the power, the physique of Inaki, his area ability, go long. He puts it down for Kudus. Then the skill begin to flow.
The skills begin to
flow. And then with Bukari and then Kamadin or any, see, these guys, look, they have to be very clear in what we have to do. If you are going to meet a solid opposition like, Switzerland, they just beat Spain, isn't it? They have never been an easy opposition. But my worry is that that game is just the last game to the World Cup. So players may not commit. How I wanted that game to be this game rather than Nicaragua. So that we now will go with Tariq Lamptey and then Gideon Mensah or maybe it's Baba Rahman. So that we will have the fullbacks as wing-backs. Because look, in this World Cup, one thing we cannot afford to do, our team is struggling for goals. So we cannot, have you seen this team come from behind before?
No.
So we have to be very careful not to concede the first goal. The moment we concede first, we finish. So far, historically, that is the way it is. So we need to do, you see, all these things. That's
we're generally not a team that does well in terms of coming back.
That's why we have 4 coaches there. For me, they disappointed me on Friday. They disappointed.
Tuesday, they get a chance to make amends. Let me read a few messages coming through, and then we'll do some Nations League. So this one here is from James from Snit Flats in Tamale. Says that, please, in the second half of Ghana versus Brazil, is it that Brazil saw that they had won the game and they didn't want to play, or Ghana played better in the second half? I was really eager to see Williams playing, but he came for the First, he came and played for the first 10 minutes of the second half and went to sleep. This one here is from Clifford from Dan Suman. Says that, so is Baba Rahman better than Imoro? Ghana. This one here says, I love the show very much. I just love the way coach talks. I want to see him coach Ghana one day. God bless him very much. Wilson from Ho with that one. Kojo Isaiah from Techiman says that I don't even know why coach won't start Kofi Ture. Wallacott should have done better on the last goal. Joseph from Doma says that Otoado needs to take serious decisions as the man in charge. He should select the right players. Phil from Nungwa says, look, with the Black Stars, I think we should replace Baba Rahman with immediate effect. Numo Baba doesn't do anything front and back, absolutely nothing to offer up front. This one here says, I hope Otoado knows what he's doing because these political selections in the first half are unacceptable. Brazil tipped to win the World Cup is starting with the best 11 and you come out with such tactics. Jordan and Baba, 90 minutes. What? Give Kofi Ture the time given to the day and let's see. Okay. Akwesi from Russia says, even the commentary on our games are not nice. GPL is not doing well enough. Coach is a whole mood, you say. This one says, good evening. Black Stars have talent, but our technical ability is very poor. The reason why the South Americans and Europeans keep winning the World Cup. Technically, we are not there yet. Okay. This one here says, I personally don't think Otoado did the selection. Frankly, if this attitude of use my player is not stopped, we will continue getting such results. The Ayu brothers should be benched or else Eja Manso from Eastern region. This one here also says that, Daniel, about the GH Brazil, Dennis Odoi was tired. We need young guys in Odoi's position. Captain from Gomoa Central. This one also says, oh, Charlie, we get problem indeed. Otoado, what's up? Why you go switch Kamaldeen to the right, but the guy, they play very well at the left side at Ren. We need a coach with balls to bench some players because this current squad, we will not reach far. This one, his name is Wache 6 Cities. Shiton Kwa. Charlie, what's going on here? Charlie, the name form at top.
Shiton Kwa.
Aelu. No. Charlie, why you people do this? Charlie, say his name is Wache 6 Cities. Shiton Kwa. Charlie, boy, misbehave. Oh, Charlie. He says the GFA should respect themselves and share the league money to the teams, or else woto. This one also says his name is Kofi Nkwabenya. What coach said that Olele contributed 40% to the success of the Black Stars during his time is true, because Muntari has on many occasions said that the same Olele was a huge contribution to their success. This one here is from Dr. Kwa from Adabraka Polyclinic. You're just behind us. Since the first half selection was intentional to show Ghanaians what our level really is. I don't think so. He's said he was upset himself. As for those saying, monkey they work, baboon they chop, somebody also worked for Independence of Ghana. That they are also enjoying, okay? I don't even know where that's coming from. But let's go to the Nations League. England have been relegated from League A. Giacomo Raspadori was the one responsible. They were up against Italy. They lost that game 1. Gareth Southgate is under a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. I won't even talk too much about this. There are games that are significant to Ghana's World Cup. Let's get into that one. Coach, you just saw what transpired there. 2-2 is how that game played out. Just quick thoughts on that.
I think defensively they've got issues because the 2 goals they actually conceded could have been avoided, especially the first one. I think the first one, lack of proper communication and not being aware of the player coming from behind completely caught the Korean defense off guard. But again, they've got quality players, isn't it? If you look at that set piece, these are the sort of things that
win games.
When we get set piece, Jordan Ayew, I forgot. We should address that situation.
You know, the thing is, we don't have a dead ball.
He's taking corner kicks. He's taking our set pieces. Come on, man.
I think when Partey is fit, he splits dead ball situations.
In the last year, Ghana scored 3 free kicks. In the last year, Ghana has scored 3 free kicks. That's one of the highest ranked. Andre has scored 2, Partey has scored 1.
Yes.
I don't think we have a problem with
We don't have a
kicks.
problem with
I don't
that.
think we have
Okay.
I think we have a problem. We have problem
How
with
many
set
teams
piece.
score 10 out of 10
No,
free kicks?
you don't need to score. When I say free kicks, the man is taking corner kicks. 0. Free kicks. We had Partey against Nigeria in Kumasi. Who took the free kicks? Jordan. And Otuado, it is Jordan. So Otuado and Co should stop.
That's true though. That's
He
true.
should stop. That's the point
fair.
I'm making. And Otuado it is Jordan.
I've actually heard somebody also complain about
Yes.
Jordan. Not even the free kicks, the corner kicks especially.
He's
The
taking
quality,
on. You remember
the quality of the corner kicks.
when they more or less allow him to be slaughtered by the fans at Kumasi, not because of performance, because every set piece he took and he wasted all of them. So and against Brazil too, he took all our set pieces. They should change him and bring somebody there. He's a striker. He should get into the box and he's got decent height. Bah! Into the net and stop taking.
Let's check out Uruguay versus Iran. That game ended 1-0. So Uruguay lost that game to Iran by 1-0. Let's check it out. Yeah, they did. Daniel, Uruguay losing to Iran.
Everybody played though. Everybody played by the goalkeeper. Everybody played.
You mean everybody?
The Valverde, the Bentancur, they all played. And they lost against Iran.
But Iran are not a bad team though.
Oh, Iran are not a bad team.
Yeah.
Brazil are a bad team, eh?
I'm just saying.
I'm
Iran
saying
are not
that
a bad
everybody has problems. This is why friendly games exist. Make your mistakes there. When you go to the competitive game, sharpen it and make sure you don't make mistakes. Let's not blow things out of proportion. You've lost the friendly game. South Korea hosted a game against Costa Rica.
Yeah.
They drew 2-2.
Yeah.
The same son who scored the free kick was responsible for giving the second goal away, if you didn't see. Uruguay fielded their toughest, best. There was Darwin Núñez, there was Valverde. Everybody played. They lost against Iran. They didn't even score. They lost against Iran. I'm saying that this is why these games exist. Make your mistakes here. Sharpen it. Be aware of where you stand so that when you are going to the World Cup, you are going with the best. Don't blow things out of it. The fact that you've lost a friendly game doesn't mean you are going to lose in the World Cup. And I've given an example. The same way we were crying and we shouldn't go again. That 4-1 defeat against Holland in 2010. Look at how the team completely changed from that time to the World Cup because they realized the mistakes and they fixed it. If we go to the World Cup and we go and play the way we played against Brazil, then we can come here and go at the head coach because you saw the mistakes and you didn't do anything about it. But once you've been able to see in a friendly game, let's not cast it out and say it's over.
You see,
Friendly matches are for correcting mistakes.
We got here because we deserve it.
Should I
We
talk
qualified because we deserve it. We didn't qualify by a coin toss.
True that.
We qualified
True
because
that.
we deserved it.
You see, in life, when a song is played, Susubribio, Susubribio, you dance differently. I'll dance differently.
Oh, boy.
You dance. There's a proverb we say in Ghana, "Akwe mokojoajo." I don't care about what you guys.
You can't compare your life scenario to
What are
somebody
you talking
else.
about? It's not about you guys. I'm concerned about what we should be doing right.
You mean
You see,
can't compare.
Valverde, you see, he said,
Yeah.
they started their team and they lost. You are doing Matramakwe. When is the chemistry? Then when you think you've gotten your best team there, Nicaragua may beat you because they don't have chemistry. That's the point we are making. The 4-1 driving at the hands of the Dutch side, the reason why Ghanaian cried because we knew we had a stronger team then.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is the weakest. Nobody argues that one. This is the weakest team we are taking to the Mondial. The least you can do is to be honest
About
and
selections.
play the best players at it.
Let's finish off with tennis. The Lever Cup ended today, I believe. Roger Federer was involved. He was eliminated in the doubles. He played with Rafael Nadal, his good friend. It was also his official retirement send-off. It was a very teary affair, Charlie. Memes and videos all over the internet about with him and Nadal wiping tears off their face. Daniel will still not accept that Federer is the greatest of all time, but I'll let him have the final word.
I also will not accept
You two, accept it.
What's the greatest European team in football? Real Madrid. Yeah. Because they have how many? Is it 14 Champions League? So you are judging it by how many they've won. 3 people have played. One has 22, one has 21, one has 20. And you are telling me the one who has 20 is the best. How? Number work and mathematics. We all studied it in nursery and KG.
That's as
No, but you see, there's longevity involved. There's style of play involved. There's
you
dominance
see,
involved.
honestly, this
All
is not a time to come and go at Federer.
Of course.
He's retired. Let's give him.
We should celebrate him.
Let's celebrate him. 20 Grand Slams.
He's a legend.
An
He's a legend of the
legend.
But you not give him the ultimate pedestal.
When he had 12, Djokovic had 1. Today he's retired. Djokovic has 21. He has 20. I'm just saying. But Federer is look. He is a goat. He's a
legend.
Top guy.
Look, and
he's been around for so long. He deserves this send off.
with his good friend Rafael Nadal and Djokovic. You saw the way the odds.
Yeah.
Look, come on.
Real recognizes real.
Thank you guys. Thank you, coach. Thank you, Daniel. Hopefully next week we'll be on more Black Stars agenda because there's a game coming up
from
on Tuesday.
now onwards.
Yeah, it's all Black Stars.
They will have to do the right thing all day.
Or else you'll be on their case.
All day no more.
Thank you very much, coach. Thank you, Daniel. You out there, thank you very much for sending us your thoughts via text, WhatsApp, and also Telegram. Same time next week. You know where to find us.